Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome to my trophy guide for These Walls Can't Stop Me, which is achieved for completing Chapter 5, The Fortress, within 10 minutes. Now, this is relatively easy in terms of the time constraint. However, even on easy, there are a few points where you can die, and you're going to want to be careful of those. And for the sake of this video, I wanted to show just, one of the places where a lot of people will die, and why, when you die, you're going to want to restart the checkpoint rather than just let the death pursue, because if you do, it will add to your current timer, and that's going to set you back, and you also get put back to the checkpoint. Whereas if you just restart the checkpoint, your timer restarts, but you get put back to the checkpoint. So really, if you die or you know you're going to die, just restart the checkpoint. It also works for if you feel like you spent too much time on a certain part, you restart the checkpoint after knowing what you've done, and I do this towards the very end just to show it. So anyway, all you're going to want to do for this first minute and a half is climb up the walls. It's not really hard. If you know the game, you know exactly what to do. Go through this window, jump down onto the ledge, and follow the walls up, race up the vines, up the handholds, and so on and so forth, up until you get to the vine at the top that you break through. So this is, by definition, silver trophies, generally speaking, should be harder than bronzes and should be easier than silvers. And in this case, with the Uncharted trophies, it is. I found this to be, whilst it was a bit difficult with enemies and stuff, I genuinely didn't mind this. I didn't struggle with it. So what you're going to want to do is just get to the top of this vine, jump through the window, and you're going to come across your first enemies. And this is where I messed up a little bit, because I should have headshot the guy resting on the ledge that you'll see, but I went and took him out with assassination instead. That wasted, 3 seconds or so, and kind of let all the enemies get into cover. I'd have much rather gone in guns blazing and maybe killed 2 or 3 of the enemies whilst they weren't in cover. But not to worry. Anyway, I always say go for headshots if you can, but if you aren't 100% convinced you're going to get that headshot, just go for the body shots, especially on easy, because enemies aren't going to take that many bullets still. I think it's 2 to 3, so you may as well just go for it. But anyway, the enemies on the wall, a lot of people like to take them down from down below them, but for a speedrun, don't do that, because you've got to wait for them to come out of cover, and a lot of the time they can spend a lot of time in cover, especially on speedruns. You'll find, I don't know if it's just pure coincidence, but the quicker you want them to come out, the longer they take. But anyway, once all those 4 enemies at the top are dead, you're going to want to run through this little tunnel. Now, there is one turret guy, and to start with this, I just take out all the enemies I can see with the AK before they become aware of me. Now, I managed to get 4 kills there in about 5 or 6 seconds, which is really good going for a speedrun. So just take out all the enemies you can see, and once all them ones are done, you're going to want to take out this guy on the turret from behind the wall. Don't run out in front of him and try to kill him, because you will die. The turrets are really powerful, even on easy, and you will see that just how powerful they are in a little bit, because I actually die, and I kept in the death in this video because I wanted to show just how easily you can die if you don't even though it is a speedrun, you gotta be quick. If you aren't careful, you will die. Anyway, once all the enemies are dead, and with this part there are a lot of enemies, so if you feel like you're not sure, listen out for the music, because the music goes quieter. You get that epic battle music when there's enemies to kill, but if that music disappears, you've killed all the enemies and you can proceed. Anyway, once you get to this tower and Nate contemplates what could have happened to Elena, you're going to want to climb up the staircase here and then just jump straight up onto this ledge, climb on top of it, and zip line down. Now, for those of you who aren't really, experienced with speedruns, the in-game cutscenes like that, the movie cutscenes, don't count towards your timer. So just skip those out anyway, because it speeds up your whole trophy getting time. And pick up the Wes and then shoot down that lock. The Wes is a really powerful gun. It's a one-shot gun if you guys, haven't really played the game too much or haven't really used the gun. So you're going to want to just shoot as many enemies as you can, and don't miss with like I did there. I was just being an idiot. But one thing to note is don't jump down until you've killed the enemies, or at least most of them. Most notably that guy on the turret, because while you're on the wall you aren't going to take much damage, but when you jump down, those bullets aren't going to be hitting the wall anymore, they're going to be hitting you. And I'm about to show you now just how quickly you can die from the bullets from those turrets if you are in an open area like I was. So this part isn't hard. I don't know, I figured I hadn't shown any deaths in any speedruns I've done, and I wanted to just show the detrimental effect of it. So this guy starts shooting, and I just run through and try to get to the edge and die. Now that only took me about 3 or 4 seconds to die. And as you can see, the timer at the top right continued going because I didn't restart the checkpoint. Now I'll show later that if you do restart the checkpoint, it will reset it. But what you're going to want to do here is just hide behind the wall until he stops shooting, and then climb up there. And get ready, because there is one guy that you need to kill just around this corner. Take him out, and then go grab the grenade launcher off the table. Now we're going to be able to take out this turret guy, and we're almost at the end, and it's only taken us 5 minutes so far, which is quite good. But this next part can be a little bit lengthy, so just beware. Like, it's probably going to take a good couple of minutes to get this part done. So once you've done that, pick up the ammo for that gun and jump down. There's going to be 3 enemies, 1 on the floor, 1 on that little scaffolding part up there, and 1 by the gate you need to go through. So take these guys out, and once you've killed 1 or 2 of them, more enemies will spawn, specifically 3 of them. So take those guys out, find that last guy and take him out. By this point there were enemies spawning behind me because I took a little while to kill these guys off. But there's 3 more enemies that should have spawned, so take them out as well. You don't have to worry about cover as such here. They're not exactly strong enemies, certainly at the beginning, even though here I did mess up and kind of got into cover at the wrong point and almost died, which was a massive pain. I remember stressing out loads there. But just take them all out. As you can see there, I didn't go for that headshot, I just took the body shots. Now, what happened here for me was a little bit unfortunate, and it took a little while for the rest of the enemies to spawn. There was meant to be 3 more. So I ran up here anyway just to sort of get started, because this is where we have to go once we've killed all the enemies, and we need to activate that thing there. But after getting up here, I realised it was a bad move, because enemies could take cover from me while I was up here, because we weren't on the same level, there was less sight to me. So take them out as best you can. There are 3 enemies in total, and this guy stopped shooting now, and I think, oh, he must be dead. Go back to this thing, and then there he is again. So just take him out, and there, I'm pretty certain I thought I got a headshot, but I didn't. So don't assume that stuff. That reel will only prompt you to open it if you have killed all of the enemies in the vicinity. If not, you won't get the prompt, you won't be able to continue with the chapter. So there we go, more enemies over there, which are the ones that didn't spawn that were meant to, or at least as far as I've always played, they were meant to. But anyway, once all those enemies are dead, climb up here, activate this gate, and this is a point where I realised I'd wasted a lot of time on that part by being an idiot, but I didn't want to restart that whole checkpoint. But here, I figured I could restart the checkpoint. So what you're going to want to do is run over to the left and climb up these handhelds. You can't get to the right side yet, so go with the left side always to start with until the water level rises. So you're going to want to jump across, up all the handholds and onto here. And then when you're up, don't do that. Now I did that just to show that, like, check my timer, it says 7:18, you restart and it goes back to 6:55. So if you do mess up like that, I mean, for me, I've still got 3 minutes to go, and I'm not going to take 3 minutes to finish off this chapter. So I didn't really have to, but say if you took a little longer to get it done, and time was really of the essence, you can restart those mess-ups and stuff. So anyway, climb up the left side of the staircase, activate this reel here, and it's going to release the water, and it's going to raise the water level so you can go to the opposite side and do the exact same. Climb up the handholds and release the water again. There's nothing really to say in this part, to be honest. It's pretty linear. It's, you know, there's no quick way of doing it as long as you know which side to go to first. So I'm not going to say anything much, just sort of watch myself play. So now that that's been pulled, the water levels will once again rise, so you're going to want to go to the front of the staircase and just climb up it. And truthfully, we're at the end. There we go. And that only took 7 minutes 54 seconds, and there we go, trophy achieved. These walls can't stop me. I could have done that a lot quicker if I didn't die, if I'd have been a little bit better with some of the encounters, but regardless, I still did it with 2 minutes to go, and that's all you guys probably care about is getting that trophy, so hopefully this has helped. If it has, let me know down below, and if you want to see more trophy guides, please subscribe so you can see more. Anyway, that is everything from me today, and I will see you guys in the next video.